What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of View for Solo Leveling Season 2. This is episodes 5 and 6, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would have to say, like, this is so far one of the best episodes for this season so far. But I will have to say right now, this is not the peak yet. We're not at peak at Soul Leveling just yet. But yeah. So like, I think what was it? The last time we saw this is with Chahain confronting Jinu, who's about to sneak into the boss dungeon. But of course, she stops him from doing so after she confronts him. But by the time Jinu passes her, she notices something strange smell wise, and then she notices, like, unlike other hunters that she smells, which of course they smell foul to her. Junu's the only person that smells like, well, in a way, nice to her. But the way the scene is done is like it kind of starts off in an awkward way when she just like walks up to him and then just starts sniffing at him. Even Gino is like taken aback by what she was doing. So but of course, like after that whole meeting, like Hain, like takes an interest with Gino and tries calling, like I guess members of the Hunters Guild, asking like who Jinu is. Um, Even though, like Jinu says that he's an E rank, she finds out that there's more to Jinu than meets the eye.
Yeah, I was wondering though, like, did they ever explain, I guess, in the manhwa, like why, like the smell thing? I guess, like, why she just,
It's Yeah, it's just like it's an ability of hers that she's able to smell mana. But
oh,
it's but like in other ways, like she mostly smells a lot of foul scents around under other hunters, which is the reason why she carries around a handkerchief in her nose. But Jinu is like, specifically Jinu is like the only one that really smells nice to her. And uh,
hmm.
of course, this leads. Well, I can already tell you that this sorts of leads into like a more romantic. Uh, I don't know how to specifically say this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we already get those implications of these past two episodes. I mean, the way that she's just still thinking about him after she only meets him that one time, but she's still like she can't stop thinking about him.
Yeah,
And then, of course, after the fight in the next episode, where she gets kind of embarrassed and she was wondering how he thought, like, what he thought of her, like, just wielding a pickaxe.
yeah, yeah. But of course, like doesn't really notice that that sort of thing, because he was too preoccupied with what's been happening in the dungeon that he participates in. Which of course, um, Ginu returns back the following day to join up with a mostly A rank expedition party that'll like supposedly take down like the boss in that dungeon that he was at earlier. But during that expedition, they're suddenly attacked by these high level high orc creatures, which they initially have trouble taking down by themselves. Which of course Ginu ends up assisting by activating his stealth mode. I guess like incapacitating most of these orcs, allowing all these other hunters to take them down themselves. But of course, even they like
Uh,
take notice of like there's something off with how that fight played out.
well, one of the I forget what I forget her name, but one of the higher level hunters noticed that Janua was using stealth. I think she might have been the only one that noticed it. I'm not, or at least she's the only one that they point out that the series points out that she noticed. Um, but yeah, so she knows already, I guess, that something's up with Jinwoo.
Yeah, but of course, she I mean, well, the party decides that they should leave the dungeon because they realize, after that fight, they realize that it might be too dangerous and they might need some backup. But they find out that they're blocked from exiting the dungeon because one of the high level orcs, the boss level orcs, is preventing their escape, and they're forced to, you know, I guess to go to uh the main hall where the boss is. It I guess in a way for them to to see the boss themselves, but in the process, the reason why they're even there is just so they can kill them themselves.
Yeah, we find out in the next episode that that's the only reason that the boss brought them all there was that so that they could just basically, I guess, kill them all and for their own amusement and watch, or like I guess all of them can watch as they die or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, and then of course, like faced with no other option, like the party has to fight them, but the party leader tries to fight the main boss, but of course he's too powerful for him. And he uses
He-
he uses this like this gravity manipulation ability, which he I don't know how this guy like even survives something like this. He gets
yeah,
smashed to the floor, he smashed up on the ceiling, then smashed to the floor again, smashed to the ceiling a second time, and then of course Jinyu just steps in and then just saves him. Some
yeah. I mean, of course, he looks pretty messed up, and I guess they must have used some kind of healing magic because he looks a lot better later on in the
yeah.
episode.
Uh,
Uh, but yeah, no, he definitely should have been dead. But I sort of look past it considering, this is he's technically like a fantasy. So I mean, I assume like maybe there's some explanation as to
yeah, I mean,
why he wasn't just immediately like killed from
yeah, I
from
mean,
that.
he's technically an A rank hunter going up like supposedly like an S rank type of boss.
Yeah,
And then of course this is where we finally see Genu just stepping in to face off against the High Orc. I think his name is Kagar. If I can, Kagargan. That's I think that's how they pronounce his
something
name.
like that.
Um, but yeah, it's like a long action sequence. Like it's very well animated too. It's like one of the best animated scenes, uh, I guess throughout the entirety of the show so far. Uh,
Yeah, that's the most impressive thing about this episode was the animation. I mean, yeah, it's probably the best animated episode of the season so far. I mean, maybe there'll be another one to surpass it, but this one was really impressive.
yeah, there's almost like this one shot camera sequence in which it transitions us from like a from one like of Genu shadows going moving to another. We see like transitioning from like Egress, and then we transition to like one with Iron, and we transition to one with the what was it the former Ice Bear tank gets in there too, and then Genu just like with his incredible speed, just mows down like so many other orcs in his way, and in the process he resurrects them and adds them to his own army, which is just even crazier too. Which takes Kagarligan by surprise, and he just it was two moments in this episode in which he just glitches out, just wondering like what is going on, like how am I facing someone so powerful? And then there's this directive in my head telling him over and over and over again that I should kill the humans, but he questions this like when he's faced off against Genu, is this guy even human of sort?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Jinwoo, like the whole like this whole sequence just completely like had the upper hand, and at one point, like he was I guess, about to completely run out of mana. But I think what was it like? Some kind of was it like an MP restoring potion or something
Yeah,
like he had
just,
with him?
yeah, he takes an MP potion and then like
Yeah,
he just pretty much like just solos the entire fight. I mean, Kagaragan like
yeah,
he doesn't go down. He tries not to go down easily. He just throws everything at Jinyu, even transforming himself into like a giant. But of course, Jinyu just like easily just takes him down, saying like the bigger they are, the harder they fall, sort of thing, right? And like he takes like a chain in the room, just wraps it up, and just immediately just takes him down. And then
yeah.
and with the icing on the cake is like he commands like um the guy's former orc lieutenants to kill him instead, which of course like and then Jinu after this he resurrects this guy and adds him to his own army, and then remake.
So I was wondering about this too because we saw earlier in the season he tried to extract the shadow from the ice elf guy and he couldn't do it.
Well,
But
but this time he's even more powerful than ever because
yeah,
like in episode 3 we know like he traveled from floor 1 to 75, and we have there was no telling like how many levels he went up, going that far. Like, and plus he had to
Mhm.
he killed like 10,000 enemies just to progress, that far. And we can imagine that and plus the fact that, he's higher than an S rank at this point.
Yeah. And of course, while this is happening, the other members of the Hunters Association show up because they were thinking that they might have like I guess, an incident. Where if in case an incident were to happen where something like I guess if they escaped from the gate and they would have caused some kind of something that or something of he said something on the level of what happened in Jeju or on
Yeah,
Jeju
because
Island were to
they're
happen.
concerned, like, they're concerned that these high level orcs might escape the dungeon and start like wreaking havoc in the real world. But
Yeah.
thanks to Genu being there, like that's not the case. So once Genu finally defeats the boss, um, he well pretty much like the Hunters Association wants to keep this under wraps, and like this despite the fact that most I mean we already know that he's an S rank and many people are gonna find out anyway, but fuck I forgot his name, um but yeah it's like but of course like the hunting party including its party leader like I mean, they don't know the reason why Genu joined the party or why he, hid his abilities the way that he did. But of course, they end up, being grateful to him. So
The association members also asked them to keep it a secret, like what they saw Jinwoo do, and I thought that was kind of funny because I'm like, yeah, that I don't know. It just seems like I mean, I guess maybe because they're association members, they wouldn't want to maybe like leak out information, but it's also at the same time, it's not like Jinwoo was really even trying to hide his abilities
no, I mean,
or
there's
what he's capable of.
yeah,
Um, Also, like we should point out, like Shaheen also followed after because of the last episode. She was interested in, I guess, learning who Jinwoo was. So she ends up following him back into the dungeon he went into. But she comes like not really equipped with any gear or weapons or anything.
yeah,
So she just takes a pickaxe with her, which she never uses, of course. But yeah, she takes a pickaxe with her, and that's where the scene happens. What I mentioned earlier, where she was like embarrassed about what Jinwoo would think about her wielding a pickaxe. But Jinwoo, I don't think ever notices that she's even there.
yeah, and plus, like, and then of course, it's obvious that that she develops a crush with Genu.
Yeah,
But yeah, yeah, we do, but of course, we do transition back to the Hunters Guild, in which the head captain of the party talks to his guild master Choi Jongying, which Choi asks like his captain, his the captain is uh if Juno is significantly more powerful than him, but the captain is just like he's reluctant to really directly say, but he just he mentions that he asks his guild master whether or not like Choi would be able to take down like a high level boss like Kargargan by himself, and Choi confirms that that he wouldn't be able to even with his high power level or his high ranking supposedly. Um, so
yeah.
now,
Well, and then they both, I guess, end up coming to the conclusion that they need to like recruit Jinwoo.
yeah. So I mean, well, yeah, but at the same time, Baek Yunho, who's of course the leader of the White Tiger Guild, also wants to recruit him into his guild. But we also remember that Go Gunhee, who's the chairman of the Hunters Association, wants to recruit Genu too. I mean, he like even though Genu like at first turned down the offer, like Go Gunhee says like the offer's still open. But we also see that that Jinho talks with Jinu specifically about like creating their own guild together. But of course, we don't really get to find out what came out about this meeting.
Yeah, I guess that might be the direction they go, considering Jinwoo is reluctant to actually join the association, and that they might, I guess, create their own independent guild.
Yeah, but I think what here's the thing, like this is actually a company guild, specifically for Jinho, from his father's name. So uh,
Mhm.
it'll likely because even if Jinu were to join this guild, then like he would specifically be working for another corporation, like the White Tiger Guild and or like the
Yeah,
the Hunters
I
Guild.
guess it really wouldn't be much different.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see where it goes from there. But yeah, it's just. But then the episode ends in which we see like another hunter getting introduced by the end of the episode. I think his name is Lee Min Sung, but that's where the
Mhm.
episode ends off from there. But yeah, the next episode, I kind of know where the next few episodes are gonna lead into. I think the next episode is gonna take a break from the action a bit, because the Jinu's like publicity is gonna get even bigger once everyone finds out that he's an S rank.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine it's kind of hard to keep that a secret. I mean, especially considering Jinwoo is really not trying to keep it a secret anyway.
Yeah. Uh,
Um,
well, but of course, there's like I said, there's the publicity of becoming an S rank hunter, which
yeah.
10th and S rank hunter, uh, is gonna have a lot of you know there's gonna be a lot of eyes on him for one thing, and of course like his friends and family are gonna get caught in the crossfire too. Um, and of course, like there are other hunter. Well, one specific hunter, like Huang Dongsu, who still has a vendetta against Jinu for killing his brother in the first season.
mhm. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good episode, especially the the fight choreography and the animation. But I don't have anything else to say about it though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about
Oh
it.
yeah, like I said, it is one of the best episodes so far this season based on animation quality, and like everyone was
Mhm.
looking forward to the fight, specifically like how good it was, and like how much more powerful Jinhu has become, considering like how much he's leveled up in the in that S rank dungeon. But of course, like he will be going back to the dungeon later, and then of course there's one other. Well, here's another thing. Like I do feel like right now the season's going a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. Um, and this, like I've said this before. I mentioned this before, like whether or not they're going to be adapting the Jeju arc, but I don't know. It's I feel like they're gonna try to slip that in there in the last minute by adapting the entire arc, maybe by the last episode. But it's hard for me to believe this. But
How would they adapt the entire arc in one episode
uh,
though?
I've seen how many. Okay, I mean the first season adapted 3 volumes. So far, we're
Yeah.
already near volume 5 of this season, and like what was it? The Jeju arc is by the end of volume 7. So it's
Hmm.
or volume I can't remember. I have to look it up again. Um,
I mean, at the very least, they might just like I guess tease the Jeju arc by
yeah.
the end of season two.
They are teasing the Jeju arc like a lot, in the last several
Yeah.
episodes, like talking about the flying ants and whatnot. Um, but it's just the pacing what I've seen so far, like there's like yeah, they're kind of moving a lot faster than I thought they would. One example is like what Jinu like blasting through 75 floors in that one episode is one example because in the manhwa like there's a lot during that specific arc in which Jinu interacts with a lot of his shadows by wanting to know like how good their abilities are, but they never go through that. And then oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention is like there was supposed to be one scene with Jinho talking to his cousin who's an A rank hunter and wanting to join up with the guild alongside Jinu. But
Hmm.
for whatever reason they didn't bring that up. It's likely that they might do it in the next episode. I don't know. But it's
Yeah.
like this character. Well, it's a she. Like Gino's cousin is an A rank hunter, but she's not really much of a significant character. I mean, she does have a backstory if people play the mobile game, which you can see her backstory. But Gino's no Gino's cousin, like yeah, uh, Gino asks specifically asked her if she'll have any interest in joining the guild with them, but I don't know why they didn't add that in there as far as I know yet, but maybe they might put it in the next episode. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but yeah, guys. So that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.